Welcome to the Monkey Business Sports Blog. I'm Dustin Monke, sports editor of the Dickinson Press. This is my first video blog. I hope it won't be the last. The Southwest North Dakota sports community has a busy couple weeks ahead, so I'm going to give you a rundown of what's going on this week. On Wednesday, officials from the Frontier and the Dakota Athletic Conferences will be at the Badlands Activity Center in Dickinson to discuss avenues for a possible merger and or scheduling agreements for the regular season and postseason for the DAC and Frontier schools. They're doing this so the DAC schools can survive in the NAI some way or another. You can read more about it in the press on Thursday. NAI President Jim Carr will also be here for the meeting, which we don't know exactly what that means, but it could also mean that a merger is very possible. On Thursday, the Dickinson State football team will step onto the field at the BAC, at the completed BAC, for the first time when it takes on Rocky Mountain College. It's the season opener for both teams, and DSU is going to have its hands full. Their defense has had trouble stopping Rocky Mountain's high-octane passing offense the last couple seasons. And even though Rocky's not going to have quarterback Casey Peters, an All-American, who has to sit out the first 3 games of the season because of NAI transfer rules that he had from the last 3 years. This happened 3 years ago. The rule is now being put into effect. We'll have more on that again eventually down the line this week too. But Peters is not in the game. Peters, who has lit up the Blue Hawks the past few years, is not going to play this game. The Bears will more than likely go with quarterback Mark Dezen, a transfer from Montana State. Now Dezen is a little bit different quarterback from Peters. Peters is a gunslinger, short route, spread offense guy. Dezen is about 5'11", more of a runner. Coach Hank Bijou, the DSU coach Hank Bijou, thinks that Rocky is probably going to use Dezen and power running back Michael Thomas to kind of tighten the field up a little bit, run the ball a little bit more. The game should be really good. It's the first game at the completed BAC for DSU. Should be a packed house. We'll see what happens. Also be sure to be at the BAC a little bit early that day if you want to see the unveiling of the DSU Blue Hawk statue that was donated by an alum. You can read more about that in one of my previous blog posts. Things don't slow down much there for the rest of the weekend. Area football teams get underway, and the DHS volleyball team is also on the road for the first time for their first games this season. Dickinson Trinity hosts Killdeer on Friday night at the BAC in what should be a pretty good matchup between the two rivals. They played pretty tough against each other here at the Mixer on Friday night. Trinity's really young. Killdeer's got some experience back. Could be a first win in a long time for the Killdeer Cowboys. Dickinson High and first-year head coach Dennis Morris, who is the cover boy of our kickoff football preview, which hits newsstands in the Advertiser on Wednesday. Him and the Midgets go to Glendive to take on Dawson County on Friday night. They'll be back here in Dickinson next Saturday to take on Miles City in a doubleheader with Trinity. Those games start at 5 and 8 respectively. We'll go more into that later on. Dickinson High's volleyball team, which is going to be pretty good this year if you ask me, heads to the East-West Classic in Bismarck on Friday and Saturday. The Midgets return senior Jess Haroff and junior Maddie Dybert. A lot of role players from last season, setter Kara Freilich. They have the makings of a state championship team. They're going to be fun to watch this year. On Saturday morning, Dickinson High hosts its only cross-country meet of the season, the big one, the Becky Wells Invitational. That's at the Heart River Golf Course at 10 a.m. That, folks, is just the first week of the 2010-11 athletic school year. It's going to be busy, but it's going to be fun. Thanks for stopping by the blog and checking out the video.